What is going on, everyone? Welcome back for another week and another installment of Redcat Live. I'm your host, Oscar Ramirez, the host with the most. Wait, that is. But man, we're here. We're having another great time, and I got none other than Miss Erin in the house, one of our engineers. And today we're going to have, in essence, a Q&A session on the Marksman. For a lot of folks that pre-ordered them, right? They're starting to get them. They're starting to arrive. And we figured now is a great time to address some questions that might have come up, as well as some little tidbits that we've been able to play with, and we're hoping that in the long term will bring you guys a little more enjoyment on the product itself. Let's see here, where we at? I'm assuming we're sounding good, everything's good, so we're gonna just kick this bad boy off, man. So much love, man. We appreciate you guys showing up, being a part of the show as always. A lot of us here at Redcat Racing, we're big RC enthusiasts, and a lot of our passion in what we do helps us cultivate. There we go. We're good. I'm just going to dumb it down a little bit. So, Aaron, tell me a little bit about the Marksman.
Well, it's our latest and greatest. I'm going to call it like a larger scale crawler. I believe we're classifying this one as 8 scale, mainly due to the size of the body and the proportions, going with the larger 2.2 wheels. But first crawler that we've come out with since the Gen 8 V2. Partnered with John over at Holmes Hobbies for the motor, hobby wing for the speed control, and then we're just running the Hexfly servo on this. So we've got a little bit of love around the community, the crawling community, to help make this thing come together.
You know, it was a pretty substantial choice to go with, Holmes Hobby. I mean, a simple choice, honestly, when you think about it, right? Holmes Hobbies, John Holmes has done a great job over the years of offering the crawler world in RC nothing but top-notch products, right? So I'm sure it was kind of a no-brainer to go with him on this kind of venture. What kind of growing pains did you experience, if any, with finding the right Crawlmaster motor?
Well, luckily for us, we got a sample in, sent it over to John, and there was no growing pains. He knew exactly what to put in it. He tested a few different variants, worked with us on the gearing, and figured out what we wanted to offer with the vehicle stock. So right now we have it set up with his 13-turn. I believe it's the Crawlmaster Sport, I believe is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it is a 12-turn 5-slot?
13-turn? 13-turn 5-slot. And then we like to run it on 3S. You can run it on 2S, but I just kind of like the wheel speed a little bit better for this larger vehicle on 3S. So we do recommend running it on 3S. If you have it available, it's going to make your experience a lot more enjoyable. Just overall, it's kind of like cheating when you run it on 3S. Just gives it that little extra to get you over some of the obstacles easier.
Well, even in the 110 world, my always go-to when it comes to a brush system is a 3S, Holmes Hobby motor, on my crawlers, my 10 scales. Mm-hmm. So to me, it was really awesome, to see that carry on into this, aspect. And one of the things that I got worried about at first was, this is a bigger truck. Is it going to be heavier? Can this motor handle it? And let me tell you guys, it does great. I am extremely impressed with how smooth it is. I am the kind of person that likes to tinker with everything, and given the opportunity to program the ESC, to change the parameters of my drag brake and doing those kinds of things, were really big for me. So that's one of the things that I played with first. I changed my drag brake a little bit. It was a little too aggressive out of the box, but take in mind the motor's new, right?
Yeah.
Once you break it in and wear it in, that's the great thing about having that flexibility with the programming card that we include with the truck, because you can make those changes on the fly, plugging into your ESC. I'm gonna take a quick second and say what's up to Anthony, man. Thank you so much, Anthony. We appreciate you guys. Darian, what's up? Jeremy, what's going on, brother, man? He's got a question. Let me see. He wants to know would there be any word on the new Purple 64 body? The body offered by itself obviously is not going to be a common thing yet that I'm aware of. Obviously, with all the 64s that we offer, we don't offer the bodies by themselves painted. We haven't done so yet, but the future could hopefully hold that as a potential. You just never know. But just stick with us in that realm and keep your eyes open. And if you want to do a custom paint job, that's why the clear bodies are so clutch, right? Mm-hmm. You can paint them, to your liking and make them, as much as dope as you want to make them. Let me see here. Any plans on releasing a pre-painted 64 bodies? Yeah, no, unfortunately, Darian, nothing at this exact time, but who knows, maybe in the future there could be potential for, bodies that, for 64s. Someone's repainting their Marksman now, Jeremy
Nice.
Kilburn. Jeremy, you're local, if I'm not mistaken, right? Is he the...
I have no idea. It's a good question.
I believe so. Man, but share those pictures, brother. Make sure that you head on over to the Redcat Marksman page. Man, I want to see that kind of stuff, right? Jacob, no, so this is, it is a new truck. Right. This one's used. Right. But the Marksman, actually, we released it a few weeks back. Pre-sales have been going on for over a month and a half, and folks are starting to get them in their hands. So we just kind of wanted to make sure that if anyone had any kind of questions pertaining to the product, that we can answer them and help send you guys on the right path of enjoyment of your product. Let's see here. Let me go back.
Yeah, the response so far that I've seen in the community is really good. Like you said, there is a new Facebook group for the Marksman specific. I've been kind of patrolling the Marksman one. We've been looking in the Wendigo one, the Gen 8 one. So we see that guys are getting the trucks and we're seeing what they're doing with them. And like you said, it has been a positive response, and we look forward to hearing what you may or may not have good to say about it, and bad. I mean,
Right.
you got to take the good with the bad. So we've done pretty good, I feel, on this. We've hit a lot of marks, but we are always looking to improve. So if you have anything that you see that you may not like, be sure to hit us up and let us know.
I see what you did there. The Marksman.
Yeah, we're hitting the mark.
Hitting the mark. I love it, dude. That's awesome. Oh man, one thing about the truck, obviously it's stout. It's huge. I mean, you can see I'm holding this bad boy, and it is a very big truck in comparison to, a general 110 scale truck by said, companies. So with that said, one of the biggest things, for this product was how was it going to look on the trail? Well, I'll be honest with you guys. When you compare this truck to other 10 scale trucks, this thing looks huge. But what I love about the truck is that the aspect ratio of the body to the wheels and the length of the chassis and overall length of the product fits the package. So it doesn't feel like you're driving a cheater rig with 2 2s on it. It feels like you're driving an oversized trail truck. Exactly. And it does great in that fashion. There's some things that I personally made changes to, and I'll show you guys mine here in a bit. We're getting ready for Proline by the Fire next week. Mm-hmm. So we're getting all of our personal trucks ready for that event. Make sure we're adding lights as best as we can with rock lights. And Aaron's been seeing a lot of me in engineering, like, hey, Aaron, can we make this? I want to do this. Can we do that? Can we do this? And one of the biggest things that has come up recently, if you follow the Marksman page, and if you don't, head on over there. Make sure you go ahead and follow that page so we can get you guys in and you guys can catch up on everything Marksman. There's kind of been a misconception. People are looking at this thing and they're saying it's just a Wendigo. Yes and no. I want to be very, very transparent with you guys. The product, the axles, the layout, so to speak, is based primarily off of the Wendigo setup, but this chassis is a longer chassis. It is a longer wheelbase, with that said, those changes were made to accommodate this overall package that you see here. So, nonetheless, it's not just a Wendigo, and it's not. We want to make sure that they are 2 different products in that fashion. There is a lot of cool interchangeable stuff when it comes to the axles. Like we offer Wendigo aluminum axles on our website. Those would fit these said axles that are on here. Aluminum truss for them as well. So keep in mind, there's a lot of those kinds of features that are interchangeable in that fashion, but they are different in that fashion. What I love seeing was that there was some folks on the Marksman page and said, look, I have a Wendigo. I don't like rock racing. I like crawling. Can I post about my Wendigo crawler here? And we're all like, heck yeah, bring it on, because that's what it's about, right? enjoying the hobby. And I'm one of those guys that it's not that I don't like rock racing. I'm horrible at it. Okay, I'm horrible at all racing in general. And so I turned my Wendigo into a crawler as well, and we'll have it out at the Proline by the Fire, showing it off and having a good time with it. And we're gonna have our own trucks that we're gonna hang out with you guys as well, and stop by, say hi to us if you're in the area. Let me double check some of these questions really quick, guys. So sorry. Rich Campbell's back in the house. What's up, Rich? How you doing, brother?
And for the guys the gentleman that was going to paint his, did he strip the inside and the outside, or did you just strip the exterior to leave it so when you scratch it, the original rust does come through?
Mm-hmm. Fishing Billy says he felt that it was a little disappointing on the details, though. So, when you're trying to do an RTR fashion truck, you can only do so much before you open up an extensive can of worms, right? I feel overall we did really well for the overall package. Obviously, like anyone else that is into the scale scene, like you, I'm sure I want more, right? I want a full 3D drop interior in that fashion. But taking into consideration, the deeper we go, the less space there is underneath there. So I believe this was a really good happy medium to offer you guys a really cool looking body on something of this size. I'm hoping in the future to see more stuff and maybe even some aftermarket support, but only time is going to tell. And it's up to you guys, the hobbyist, the community member, to speak up about the things that you want, right, from your aftermarket companies as well as from us. Will we always take everyone's recommendation at heart? Maybe not. It may not be feasible, but who knows? Your idea might be the one thing that sparks us to think in a whole nother fashion to make this even more enjoyable for you guys.
And another thing is you don't necessarily want to put everything on every truck, because then everyone's trucks are going to look the same. So if we don't maybe hit all those perfect little details, it gives the user something to go. Maybe they can 3D print it. They can make their own door handles or tail lights or some of the other items and trinkets that people like putting on the truck. So it allows it so when they're out there on the trail, they don't come up another truck that looks exactly like theirs. So
right.
If you kind of leave the canvas a little blank in that respect, to let the users put their creativity into it and make it something their own.
Sure. And John, you wanted me to put a Gen 8 next to it. Unfortunately, I'll be honest with you, I don't have one near me in this exact room, and it would take me jumping over wires to get to another room to get it. But if you look at the video for the Marksman, the official 2-minute video, we actually have the Gen 8 next to this as it's crawling through. Mm-hmm. And we'll try and get some pictures on the Marksman page of the two in comparison, so that this gives you an aspect ratio as well. So check out the page and follow it, and give us a day or two to maybe come up with some pictures, and we'll be happy to post those up for you guys. Jeremy Kilborn said that he painted over the outside with prep spray.
Oh, okay.
What's up, Mike, all the way from Canada, man? Love it, bro. This is a 1/8 scale crawler, brother. Let's see where we at. It is a Lexan body, not a hard body.
Lexan body, and then like we were talking about earlier, duotone. The color on the inside is not a backer; it is the actual rust color. So that when you do have a little trail rash on this, it's going to show through like the vehicles. It's going to patina for you.
Right.
So a lot of people I've seen, they're like, "Hey, well, that's kind of weird." They backed it with this weird color, and they weren't realizing that we had intended for the vehicle to be scratched and for that color to show through.
Sure.
So that is another thing that I have seen.
And it's one of those things where we're seeing it happening on hard bodies, right? I do it to my bodies. Whenever I do a hard body build, I love painting multiple layers, and I start with the brown and an orange underneath, and then I paint my real color on top, so that as you get those scrape marks of just gouging on the rocks, it kind of exposes the different layers of paint. And I love doing that in the scale scene, so I really enjoyed that. I really saw a lot of value for me personally that we did that, because it's a cool feature, I feel, and every mark, every gouge is like the scars on our bodies that we create. Mm-hmm. Maybe not as painful, but right. You get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying, right? I'm like Tony Montana, man. I got a scar face, okay? Right? I'm telling you, it's all fun and love. Mm-hmm. What's going on, Tony? How you doing, brother? No clear bodies as of yet. The product, literally, we just dropped it
They are coming though.
Yeah,
Those are for sure coming.
We're working on those.
Yep. And the body does include the roll cage and all the hardware. So when you do get that, it's going to come with everything that you need to fully assemble it, like what you see here, and paint it to your color of choice.
Yeah, so again, there's going to be options for you guys in the future for clear bodies and customization in that fashion. I'm hoping, the big three, in essence, sees this as a great opportunity to maybe offer you guys more stuff in that same scale of size. It'd be nice to see more trucks like that. For a long time across seas, the 1/8 scale was a big thing. Mm-hmm. So it's, for me to see it kind of here in the States in that fashion is a little different. But I'm telling you, it's a fun truck. Aaron actually poked the bear a few weeks ago and he said, hey, when are you going to start customizing yours? And I'm like, well, I thought I was supposed to leave it stock, and he goes, no, like make it personal. So, with that said, we'll move this aside and I'll show you guys where mine is at this time. Take in mind, we are in front of a green screen.
And you might not be able to see the lower half of the body.
Yeah, because the wheels are green. But here it is. So yeah, yeah, you can't see the wheels.
Those are opaque.
Yeah, because they are green. But this is mine at this time. This is what I'm rocking. And what I did is I had a bunch of stuff laying around that I wanted to use. This is a old recycled Proline light bar, an old winch that I had laying around from years ago, and it does work. I put a rack on top, Amazon special. We still carry a couple of these things in stock, which are killer body.
It's like a container.
Like a container, exactly, with foam pieces on the inside. I found some real tree stickers, so I went ahead and did those up in there. And if you guys can see, I did paint my driver.
That's Bob Katz is the driver of this
Bob
vehicle?
Katz, yeah. He's the Marlboro man.
Mm-hmm. Marlboro.
Marlboro. Added some trinkets like, my fire extinguisher.
Can never be too safe on the trail.
Right. Some diamond plate stickers underneath, and some license plates and, just little things to make it kind of unique and personalized for me. Again, it's you got to make it your own, and like anything else, it's more enjoyable when you put your own flair on things.
And it does look good with the white wheels. I think maybe
I'm kind of almost wishing I went with white wheels
maybe
now.
wagon wheels on there.
Yeah, dude, I'm kind of like, man. I even put some scale hubs. Let's see here.
Can you show us what specifically parts are different from a Wendigo? Well, a lot of the parts for the Wendigo that are going to be different is going to be all of the links underneath of the truck. Obviously, we have a longer wheelbase. The drive shafts are going to be longer. The front and rear bumpers, the chassis is extended, so there's some extensions for that. There's a couple pieces that work with that in the rear. Other than that, those are going to be your
links.
main items. Yeah, that was the first thing. Yep,
Drive
the links,
shafts.
drive shafts, and then the shocks, where they're shorter on the rear on this model, so the front and rear are the same. And those are your main components that transform this, I would say, from what you had before. Oh, you even put a license plate.
Yeah, I got some license plates on
License
there.
plate.
Yep.
Got some jerry cans.
Yep, in the back, so you can see the jerry cans back there, guys, and what have you. Someone wanted to see the underneath, the belly of it, so hopefully we can get a good little shot of what it looks like underneath. And one thing that, Aaron and the team did really well on this that I got to give them much love and credit for is everything is sealed. Like, though it's got wheel wells, those features, you don't really see really standard with a lot of products these days. And I really like that that the team did that and that they went that far. I done a lot of things to this thing already. I've gone through it quite a bit. I'm running 40 weight oil in the front shocks. I'm running 60 weight oil in the back. The full suspension is lowered on this bad boy already. What else did we do to it? We did play with some steering stuff that we're dabbling with, and I'll let Aaron kind of explain that avenue of it. I changed parameters on the motor output using the programming card, changing those kinds of things up. I added lights, so I have bulbs in the front. I have a working light bar in the front. These 5 bulbs up top work. There's rock lights, which you can kind of see the 2-inch
LED.
chips there and there, and these tiny chips that are right there in the back. So this thing is completely lit at night, and you can see it for miles, well, scale miles.
Scale. And for some of the guys that are maybe looking at adjusting some of the programming, I know I have spoken to John recently, and he is going to be releasing a video with the program settings that he likes out of the box. Obviously, with Hobbywing, the way we get the speed controls, we just have a generic profile on there. We're not really sure what you're going to be doing with the vehicle, so we kind of have like a stock tune, we'll call it. And he has a more specific tune for kind of some of the things that he does. So for those of you guys that are maybe wondering about the tuning and are not familiar with it, I do believe he's going to have a piece out on that soon, going over some of the changes and what he likes to do with it as far as his personal use of the vehicle.
Right, right. And Rich, man, shoot us that question when you're ready, brother. We're always down for it. Jeff Ramos, man, thank you, man. We love the paint. And if you guys can see, I'm going to see if we can show you guys some of the patina. Wear and tear, we can hide our ugly faces.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to be really hard with the
green screen
and the green screen. Yeah.
Just know that it's there.
Yeah. Rust shows through, and on the pictures on the website, we have plenty of pictures that show what that looks like and how that goes. But, I want to paint my driver, little things like that before we get ready for a Pro Land by the Fire, but we're almost there. Tony Gutierrez, they come with plastic drive shafts, and haven't had a problem with them since. I have just hit the close to 30-hour mark on runtime on my personal truck, and so far it's been stout. The only thing that I had a problem with, and it was literally the first day I took it out, was there just wasn't enough Loctite on the set screw for the drive shaft. Put some in there, and it's been rocking ever since. Let's see, Jeremy, I'll post up his ESC settings. Oh, beautiful. Appreciate that, Jeremy. Love it, man.
And John did release another video, so that's another, for those of you guys that are maybe looking for a little more content and another point of view, I believe he did have a video that he posted.
Right, right. I also want to say, and I'm still playing with it, I don't know if I like it yet. I installed a Wendigo rear sway bar on this, just to change it up a little bit and to play with those aspects. I've been pulling things off the shelf, and my wife doesn't know that she's getting a pretty hefty bill at the end of the week.
Yeah, the tab needs to be cleared Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday we got to close the tab out. But one of the biggest things, and let's address the elephant in the room really quick. But before we do, Rich Campbell found a Terremoto V2 1.8. Does it compare to the Shredder?
That's a lot. The Terremoto V2 was just like a Basher monster truck. And as far as the Shredder, I wouldn't say they really compare much at all. The Shredder's a larger vehicle with a much longer wheelbase. The Terremoto's more of like I won't call it a stunt truck, but it's that style of a truck. The Shredder's I believe the Shredder may be faster, like top speed in the straight line, but if I'm out playing around and I just kind of want an all-around Basher truck, the Terremoto V2 is okay.
Right. There you go, Rich, man. I hope that answers your question, brother. One of the biggest things and complaints that we got about the truck was primarily one main factor, which was steering angle. Let's show them. You want to bring that one over?
Yep.
So this one on this side is a stock truck, while the one on the right is one that we've modified a little bit. So if you want to show him fully locked to the right, you can see where his angle is. You can see where mine is. I'm getting to probably about a good, 20%?
Something like that, yeah.
Go to the other side?
Yeah. So obviously it is a longer wheelbase truck. It does have big tires, and some of the guys are expecting it to steer like some of the smaller trucks. So we've kind of looked at it a little bit. We've seen what some of the other guys have done in the user groups before. And I know you've made a couple of the changes to your truck.
I did. So, I learned from some of the guys in the Wendigo page, and one of the first things you remove the button head screw. And would that be on the C-hub or the
spindle?
Okay. So on the spindle itself, there's a button head screw. And what someone had recommended was to remove that screw, countersink, and use a flathead M3 in its place. So I did that, and it bought me a little bit of space, but just not enough. And we were recently playing around with some other things, and someone had done a recommendation on the page that we we tried today just for giggles,
Yeah.
which was to remove that entire step where that screw is, making it flat. And after this episode, I will post those pictures on the Marksman page, so make sure you head on over there so you can see what we did to get more steering angle out of it.
Now, when you do that, we talked about that button head. That button head was actually designed to be there as a steering stop for the Wendigo. So when this axle was created, it was meant for a rock racer. So we don't necessarily need a ton of steering because you're going to be going fast in a straight line through rocks, and we wanted durability. So that was intended as the steering stop. But now when we've transferred over to the Marksman, also another thing is make sure your EPAs are set good out of the box on your radio with the truck on the ground. Make sure you're getting that full throw left and right. But like you said, you can take that out and put the flathead in there. It is a little bit of a difference, or you can Dremel. Just note that if you do Dremel that, you can actually take too much material off and it will oversteer and it will put more angle into it than what the CVD can hold, or the CVA. And you risk breaking the CVA. So
Right.
it is something you can do, and it's going to turn a lot tighter, but just, just be careful, right?
Right.
So,
And with that said, guys, any modifications that you do like that, do it at your own risk. We have not beat up on it enough with that shaving
Right.
done yet to give you guys an honest, like, go do it. It's going to be great. So, do it at your own risk if you have one already. Proline by the Fire is going to probably, which is literally in a week, we're going to be
be a good
leaving.
place to test.
It's going to be a great place to test, exactly. And we're going to have a few of them done up already in that fashion, so that we can hope that we can give it a really grueling test. And if it holds up and it does well, then the fix is thankfully really easy for you guys.
Yeah.
A little bit of shaving, just making sure that flat spot is flat with the axle housing itself and not in any. So we were using a set screw first.
Just a 3 mil by, I think a 3x5 set screw will probably be the most. That's kind of what I've noticed so far. But like I said, just be careful. Watch your axles and make sure you're not over traveling it. Even if you don't, or if you have it and you set your EPA to not go as far, when you hit bumps and you hit rocks and as items wear out, it will travel past that, and you do risk damaging that axle. So just beware if you do that. The safe, easy, quick, get a little bit more out of it is to countersink it with a bit, put in a flathead. For the more experienced users who want to go after it with the Dremel, go ahead. But as you're doing it, I would just ask that you watch that axle and see how much. Make sure you're not over traveling the axle when the truck is at full lock. But yeah, that's just one of the things. A lot of the trails that we kind of ran this truck on didn't have a lot of tight, super twisty stuff. All of our EPAs are set good. We're running good servos, so we didn't notice it as much, but we are seeing it. And it's just something that we can, like a quick little mod, we'll call it, and then we'll see what we can do going forward. We're definitely, like you said, looking into it and seeing if there's something we can do with the vehicles moving forward. But right now, DIY at your own risk, but and just make sure that you have your EPAs set correctly.
There you go. So we'll give you guys more of an update, guys, the more we test as we go. But again, I'll share some pictures on the Marksman page, so make sure that if you're not a member of it, go ahead and request. We'll get you guys in there so you guys can see all the new latest and greatest Marksman related. So with that said, I'm going to see. So I got to say hi to Danny, man. Danny LeBoeuf, man, he is honestly one of our top fans, and I have to give you, a triple, quadruple, 5-star thank you, because he shares and reshares everything we post, and I appreciate that love and support more than words can express. So thank you, Danny, for being a part of our family and helping us spread the word of all of our RCs.
Yeah, if you keep it up, he's probably going to take your job.
He's gunning for it, I'm sure. But then you got to get stuck working with this guy. You don't want that.
You don't want that.
You don't want that. Someone wants to know, when's the Marksman kit coming out? Is there a possibility for that?
That is a good question. At this time, we're only looking at the ready to run. We are looking at potential kits in the future, but we got to do a lot of number crunching. We got to get these things out in the wild, get these in your guys' hands, and see if there's any things that we need to address before we even looking at putting it into a kit. So I would love to say we'd have one available soon, but let's get it out there. Let's get it into the masses. and we can go from there.
Right. And also, guys, I find this after the fact, when we wrap up the live feeds. Sometimes there's a lot of questions that aren't popping up on my commentary side of things. So sometimes I don't get to see your comments till afterwards. It's not that I'm ignoring you. It's just unfortunately the way the internet works, it doesn't populate all the latest and greatest like I like it to. So if I don't answer your question, it's not on purpose. It's just I may not have seen it, and obviously the comments go like crazy. So bear with me. Sometimes you got to ask twice, and I'll try and catch it on the second one. Let me see. Mike wants to know really quick. Will there be any more shows on 64 Lowrider? Yes. In fact, there's going to be shows on RC Lowrider in general, right? That's us. We're RC Lowriders. We are. We want to expand that. We want to have fun with it. We want to enjoy RC lowriding with all of our community members. So yeah, we're not done. We're going to have more stuff like that. We just have some other things that we want to focus on as a company, but it does not mean that we're stopping the flow with what we're doing with the 64. Oh, that almost rhymed.
Yeah.
Someone wants to know why 1.8 instead of 110. You want to take that one?
I think just due to the scale of the body and how everything was, it's kind of a larger vehicle. Like you said, and if you compare it to most of what normal people drive as far as their crawlers with the comp crawlers, this is quite a bit larger. A lot of the scale community, some of the vehicles are starting to get larger. Obviously, a couple of the other brands have some vehicles with some very large bodies. So we just felt like it was kind of the right time and kind of make a little push here to make stuff maybe a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit easier for the everyday average guy to get some detail on their 3D prints and some of their accessories, maybe find some other heads and some other items that are more appropriately sized instead of trying to make everything super small and super tiny. Yeah. So if we make it a little bit bigger, looks cooler.
Right. At the same time, it doesn't mean that we're not going to do anything 1/10 related in the future. We just wanted to give the masses something a little bit different. And one thing I have to point out, and someone just talked about it and it reminded me, I am amazed with the compound of tires that was chosen for this product and the foams. They really do it justice. And they do really well in that fashion. On mine, if I could show you, I actually have feathering happening on my tires just from, regular wear and tear. So great overall balanced truck. It is, definitely front heavy, where it has all of the things that I feel make it a good, fun truck to have. And it's the type of truck that, because of its size, you can also let your kids use it. It's not a situation where like, oh my gosh, it's a $700 hard body, vehicle. Don't look at it, you know what I'm saying? But this is something that it can take a little bit more of a beat down on the trail, and it makes it enjoyable. So that's kind of why we decided 1.8 on this one. It's just wanted to be different, right?
And like what you're saying, everything is a little bit more beefed up on this. The weight doesn't matter as much. We've got the axles on this truck are very strong, very stout, can handle quite a bit of power when we ran them with the Wendigo. So in this environment, we're going to have a very durable product that should last for quite a while for any user. And like you said, it's a lot easier. You can hand the radio to anybody. You don't really have to worry about it, about them beating it up. They're going to run it into curbs, do all kinds of silly stuff with it. It's going to be able to handle a lot of those licks.
So, man, that's kind of it in a nutshell, guys. That's the Q&A session for the Marksman. If you want more information, want to know more about it, check out the product description and the link on this description of this video, or head on over to the Marksman page for Redcat Racing so that you guys can check in and see what other people are starting to do to theirs. Again, we'll post up some pictures probably by tomorrow on the mod that we've been doing on the front to help get you guys a little bit more steering angle to see if that's something that fits your guys' needs and qualifications for what you can do and feel comfortable with doing. Just rest assured, Aaron and myself and some of the team will be at Proland by the Fire next week. It is a multi-day event on the 25th and 26th, if I'm not mistaken. We will arrive on the 24th to set up, but it should be a great time. We're going to be bringing the Wendigo that you guys saw me build, and it's going to get its maiden voyage sent out. We're going to bring my Marksman. Aaron's got a Marksman. He's building and having fun with. So we're going to be out there having a good time. If you see us, stop us, say what's up. We love to take pictures and have a good time with everyone. And if you have any kind of Redcat product, bring it to us so we can take some pictures of that as well.
Yeah, and if you do see us out on the trail and you are like, I'll let you drive my truck. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so if you want to, hey, can I wheel this thing through this stage? Go right ahead. If you see us out on the trail, I know I don't have a problem with it. I'm sure Oscar doesn't.
Not at all. In fact, you know what? I might even bring just a tester, just for giggles, because we want to. Honestly, it's one of these trucks, guys. I'm being 100% honest. I don't make commissions off of sales of these products, so it's not like that. But when I first was handed the remote and I took it out, I was like, hey, it's not. I'm a hard body 110 guy, and the more I drove it, the more I enjoy it. It's a different kind of atmosphere. The same kind of atmosphere why I love hard body crawling, because you pay attention to the way you're approaching is different, and your challenges are different. This thing has its own set of challenges while driving it, right? So like anything else, you find that happy point with each product that you drive. So, come on out, hang out. If you have lowriders, bring those out. Let's take some pictures of those as well. But let's have a good time, guys. So come on out. It'll be a great time. If you do not know or want more information about it, head on over to Proline Racing's Facebook page, and they'll have all the details for you on that event. We're gearing up for a very, very crazy and busy end of the year. We have 7 back-to-back events that we're going to be participating in. Next week, we're going to be having some guys at Inertia out in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. They're going to call in. We're going to chime them in so they can tell us a little bit about what's going on there. Do you know what Inertia stands for? It's like the National Hobby Retailers Association, something like that. So it'd be a good time. So swing on by. It'll be our Proline by the Fire show before we head on out and hit the road. So, guys, from all of us, all of you, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you guys. We can't wait to see you guys at an event here very soon. And if you guys have any more questions, you guys know where to find us. Head on over to our website. Contact us for any support questions. If you have questions about any specific product, if we have a page for it, head on over there. Odds are the question might have already been asked, and we might have already helped, and or the community helped. So from all of us, all of you guys, be safe out there, keep the rubber side down, and we'll see you guys very, very soon.